Hey everybody, it's JJ here and welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing good. So today I'm going to be talking about a book that is a part of what I like to call the forgotten fantasy. This is those fantasies that was kind of written in the late 60s all the way up through the mid 80s all the way up to the early 90s. And they're the stories that a lot of people really aren't reading anymore. And I don't really understand why, because I think that there's so much great stories that are kind of in that span that sort of just get shoved to the side and forgotten in a way. And so this is called Deryni Rising by Katherine Kurtz. And I saw like one or two other booktubers talking about this. I think Brian Lee Durfee talked about it on his channel. And I got curious. It's got that old school Daryl K. Sweet cover, which is absolutely gorgeous. And this was published in 1970. So I bought the entire trilogy. I kind of took a risk because I really wasn't sure what this book was about. And this is not that long of a story. This is only about 271, 72 pages, something like that. And I absolutely love this. I read this entire thing. I'm a slow reader, so I read it in like a full week, and I just continued to turn the pages. This is one of those that deals with a lot of politics. It deals with religion, but it deals with religion in a very good way. It shows both the good side and the bad side of religion. And you got some of the cool tropes that you get in sort of the progressive type fantasy. You got the king that goes out on a boar hunt and gets killed. You got the son who discovers that he's got magical abilities. And this isn't spoilers. This is all right here on the back part of the copy. But this is also a world where people who practice magic, who are called the Deryni, are sort of frowned upon in society. And there's this big civil war that had happened in the past. And people don't want anybody that has any sort of these abilities to really have anything to do with society. And what makes this so interesting is the way Katherine Kurtz really sort of not only respects the religion, but also uses antagonists in such a unique way. I could not stand one of the antagonists. There's several different antagonists that are sort of going against this young king. He's coming of age. He's 14 years old, and that's sort of the coming of age where he's allowed to have the sort of the coronation and become actually king. And it's not just the main antagonist, but there's people who are working against him. They're not necessarily antagonists in a way like evil trying to kill him, but they're standing in the way of his ultimate goal, and they're standing in the way of what he wants to do. So this is one of those books. It's like I said, it's got the politics, it's got the religion, it's got the fun tropes that you absolutely love, and it's got a very interesting magic system that really is sort of passed down through a bloodline. And I like those type of magic systems where only certain people within a certain bloodlines can sort of really take the power and use it in a unique way. It's a great book. There is 3 books in this trilogy. Deryni Rising. The second one is Deryni Checkmate, and I've actually just started that. And then the third book is Hi Deryni. The longest of this series is actually book 3, and it's like 350 pages. The second book's like 300 pages. Like I said, this one's 271 pages. And so they are not that long of books. So you could probably get through the entire trilogy within a month easily. But what I love about this is not only is it thin fantasy, but it is a very, very good self-contained type of story that you don't have to. It's just not the epics like we're getting today, where there are 1,000 pages and things like this. This is very condensed. It's very good. So if you're wanting a good, fast, quick read, I highly, highly recommend this. I think there's a series like. I think the entire series is like 3 different trilogies, 3 or 4 different trilogies. So there's this trilogy, then there's another trilogy, and then there's a prequel trilogy, and then there's one more trilogy after that. I think it's a total of 4 trilogies, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have them all. I've only got the original trilogy, so I'm going to continue to read that. And like I said, right now I'm on Deryni Checkmate, which is second book in the series. I just started it yesterday, and I'm already 100 pages into it. And like I said, I am a slow reader, so So if I'm going through this that quickly and that fast, then you know it's got to be somewhat good because it's holding my attention. So there you go, Deryni Rising by Katherine Kurtz. I highly recommend it. I give it 5 stars. Like I said, published in 1970. It's well over 50 years old, so it is a classic when it comes to the 50s, or when it comes to the fantasy. And not only that, but it's also one of those stories that's sort of in that forgotten fantasy realm, which I think a lot of authors and a lot of readers need to try and go back and read some of these classics in a way. Not the classics like Tolkien and Lewis and Shannara, whatever you want to call it. Nothing like that. I'm talking about some of the ones that you just walk in, you find it on a used bookstore, and you think, man, that looks interesting. You pick it up, you go home and read it. And this one was one of those experiences for me. I'm thankful for the booktubers I found that were actually talking about this, because once I picked it up, I couldn't find any other booktubers that were actually talking about it. So there you go, Deryni Rising by Katherine Kurtz. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. We'll see y'all.